Now the pieces fall into place. The Grey Warden comes, the instrument of the Father. Oh, and the Father, he is but a shadow. Oh, how my children protect me. How they love me.
I have told you many times, Mother. I am not the Father. I am simply the Architect.
It does not change what you are! You took away that beautiful music, left us with nothing.
It was a mistake to free you. It has left you with madness. I am truly sorry.
The Architect intends to free the Darkspawn. I trust him.
Ah, but perhaps the Warden would like to hear how it was that the Father began the blight. You want the source of the Archdemon? The one who brought all our kind to the surface? Here he is!
Well, paint me green and call me a turnip.
Ah, there it is then. Unfortunate. I did find the old god Athemiel, but I did not wish another blight. I attempted my joining ritual. My hope was that this would free all Darkspawn, unravel the curse from its source. Alas, I was unlucky.
I mean, he took a gamble. Like I said, when you really look at it from like his perspective, like it kind of makes sense. But is it, good for the other races? Absolutely not. Okay, let's see. I still think this would be the best response, though. Just because you want to hear a little bit more. Do you even think about the repercussions of your actions?
Is it not the way of the Grey Wardens to do what must be done, in the name of combating the Blight? The Blight is a menace, both for your people and for mine. To end it requires sacrifice and risk.
And how lonely the Father was. How terrible to be the outcast, the outsider. He claims he wishes the Darkspawn to be free, but what he truly wants is to correct them.
However you feel about what I have done, the Mother is mad. She cannot be allowed to...
Begone, Shadow! You cannot harm the Mother any more than you already have. And now the hero is alone. Oh. The Mother knows your ways. You will not let her be, no, not after what she's done. So it must end. It all must come crashing down!
She's apparently a little blind, too.
Perhaps we will hear the song again when we die. Oh, let it come. Let it come.
Because I happen to have 3 more people with me. That is actually a little bit scary. Okay, my special abilities. Let's go for tentacles.
They won't know.
Is that all you've got?
I'm sorry. Am I too quick for you?
That's a really nice freeze.
I am a might of a darkness.
Whoa. Come on, use it.
No one can out alive.
No more.
Okay, now I'll work on her. Blast a single target with fire. Wouldn't do that. That does a lot, actually.
Get you a knife.
I'll use that behind us here in a second. Ogren. Cast that to heal. Oh, fully heals. Maybe I should have saved it. I wonder. We'll save that. I might be able to stun her out of that too. Go ahead and try it. Oh my gosh. Ogren. Survive, my bro. Damn.
You'll get no mercy from me. Don't let one mercy.
Go and use one. He's out of the fight. And I might as well do something too.
Is it time to kill something?
Come on.
Time to die!
We got this.
This will be fun.
I like that finish.
That almost never happens.
You can hear him getting up at the end. Okay, yeah, it just goes straight to the end from here. That's it. Just cuts right here. Alright. After the death of the mother, the remaining Darkspawn forces scattered and fled back into the Deep Roads. The raids on Amaranthine came to an abrupt end. The architect apparently kept his word, gathering his remaining disciples to follow the rest of their kind back underground. Those Grey Wardens and other nations were appalled to hear of the architect's continued existence, but weren't able to track him down despite years of effort. Some within the Order have claimed that the architect's survival guarantees another blight, and yet the Deep Roads have lately been quieter than any can recall. Most have resignedly decided that it is now in the Maker's hands. Word of the Grey Warden's heroic salvation of Amaranthine spread like wildfire. When the magnitude of the losses at Vigil's Keep came to light, sympathy drove generous donations from all over Ferelden into the region's coffers. Amaranthine was restored to her former glory within a year. Vigil's Keep took 5. Because of the Warden's support for law and order in Amaranthine, Constable Aiden and his men were able to distribute the smuggler's goods to the battered survivors in the grueling days that followed the Darkspawn defeat. The Darkspawn messenger, set free after joining the Warden in the Battle of Amaranthine, struck out on his own. The city soon buzzed with stories of a cloaked but lisping figure who aided travelers in danger. At the same time, reports of isolated cases of the Darkspawn disease emerged. No one connected the two. Although the war devastated many farms in the Arlene, all agreed the loss would have been greater without soldiers for protection. The farmholders developed a certain reverence for the Warden Commander, as well as an ongoing reliance on the Grey Wardens for order and protection. Vigil's Keep stood alone against a horde of Darkspawn. The Mother's forces outnumbered the Vigil's defenders many times over. Now we get to hear about what happened to my other team. But the sturdy dwarven walls proved impervious to any boulder an ogre could throw. The Vigil soldiers, clad in silverite, each felled a dozen darkspawn before they died. The Vigil held one night, then two, then a week. Eventually, the attacking horde broke upon her walls. The keep developed an almost mythic reputation, the few survivors immortalized in song and legend. The Vigil became a trading hub that would eventually eclipse the city of Amaranthine, with traders reassured by guards continually patrolling the pilgrim's path. But prosperity bred scheming and treachery between merchants and nobles, testing the commander's patience for years to come. Peace allowed the wardens to replenish their numbers. Soon, Vigil's Keep bore a capable army with wardens at its core. From their ranks emerged new heroes to challenge threats to Amaranthine and all of Ferelden. Through taxes and levies, the Vigil was rebuilt. Years later, Voldric Glavenek stood on the battlements and pronounced that the defenses were acceptable. He would never speak more highly of any human engineering. Dark whispers of conspiracy against the wardens fell silent after a rash of accidents and disappearances culminated in the apparent suicide of Ban Esmerel. The nobles of Amaranthine remained dutiful. Some even suggest they were cowed into submission. Might be code. I'm not sure how that word said, actually. Among the many legends that the Vigil spawned was one of the great heroes of the next age, a sheep herder turned soldier by the name of Sir Alec the Valiant, who eventually founded an order of knights that lasted 1,000 years. So it's good bringing that guy on. The commander's blade, Vigilance, crafted from the bones of an ancient dragon, was boldly stolen by Antivan crows. The blade changed hands many times thereafter, with some master swordsmen pursuing the weapon their entire lives. Some claim that this legendary blade has had a life of its own and that its power is steadily growing. Dworkin Glavenak farther refined his lyrium sand explosives, but left the warden's employ after Gennari merchants tried to assassinate him, although the dwarven bombarder took his secrets with him. The learned say he left clues for others to follow in his footsteps. The Vigil soldiers, wearing the distinctive silverite armor that Master Wade crafted, came to be known as the Silver Order. Under the tutelage of the Wardens, the Silver Order developed into one of Ferelden's most revered military forces, a lasting memory of the Vigil's famous commander. With Valana and the Architect gone from the region, the Pilgrim's Path began to see traffic again. The massacre of the militiamen and the merchants, however, led to hostilities between the neighboring human settlements and any Dalish clan that passed by. That kind of sucks, but it's what it is. One human villager soon kidnapped and murdered a Dalish child. The clans reacted by giving the Winning Wood a wide berth, but both sides know that at some point the elves will return for revenge. A few years after Kaharol was emptied of Darkspawn, Orzammar began sending expeditions to rediscover the knowledge of smithing that had been lost within the Tig. Eventually, House Helmi decided that Kaharol was too important to be abandoned. At a tremendous cost of dwarven lives, they cleared the tunnels leading to Kaharol of all Darkspawn, making the road between Orzammar and the fortress safe again. Kaharol was reclaimed for Orzammar, once and for all. Now, I'd actually like to see, that in a future game. Now, I know it's not in the second game, but who knows, there might be something within the third game. As I said before, I haven't fully played that one. As promised, Voldrick and Dworkin presented Orzammar Shaper with the stone marker that told of how Kalharol's Castles had taken up arms against the Darkspawn. The commander of the Grey was invited to Orzammar as a guest of honor at a feast commemorating the defenders of Kalharol. The Shaper read the names of the Castles off the marker, then presided over a ceremony to return them to the stone, as befit warriors of their stature. In time, Arlen began to forget the tales of apparitions in the Black Marsh, and ever so slowly, settlers drifted into the region. Scholars said the Vale was thin, thus the area still dangerous. But the people only cared that there were no longer frightened whispers in the shadows. The village was slowly rebuilt. Twice the Baroness mansion was rebuilt and occupied, once by a wealthy merchant, another time an Orlesian mage. Both died mysteriously. Afterwards, the mansion was torn down completely, and the site left untouched. Survivors of the siege at Vigil's Keep hailed Anders and his magic for holding back hundreds of the assaulting Darkspawn. In the ensuing victory celebration, the men dragged the mage to the fire to engage him in a drinking contest. Anders lost. Anders remained with the Grey Wardens a few years longer, training the Order's next generation of mages, but when the Circle Tower called on him to deliver a lecture on the nature of the Architect, much to the Templars' dismay, Anders told the commander of the Grey that his time with the Wardens was over. And yet, not 2 months later, Anders returned to the Order. Even after, the Wardens were his home and his lasting companions. B'Elanna never saw her clan again, but neither did she forsake her Dalish culture, nor her sharp tongue, nor her quick temper. So, she's unchanged, basically. Again, don't care for her. Her friendship with the Warden Commander changed her opinions of humankind significantly. Okay, there's that. Shortly after the Mother's defeat, Darkspawn stragglers who still remained on the surface attacked a human village. B'Elanna was the only ward nearby and defended the village single-handedly. She did not sneer once. Okay, at least she did something. I'll leave it at that. Years later, on an expedition to the deep roads, B'Elanna took off on her own after saying she had seen Serani in the shadows. The other wardens searched for her, but she was truly gone. Over the next years, Nathaniel dedicated himself to the Order and to clearing the blemishes on his family's name. After saving Terran Fergus Kuzlin from a bandit attack, a portion of Amaranthine was returned to the house, so saved my character's brother. Nathaniel passed the holding to Delilah's son, and when a new castle was eventually built there, a statue of Nathaniel was erected in its courtyard. So, that's nice. Justice fought valiantly at the battle for Vigil's Keep, but before the victory horn sounded, a Darkspawn sword removed Kristoff's head. It was, of course, unclear whether the spirit of justice perished or just simply departed. At the least, Kristoff's wife, Aura, was finally able to claim her husband's ashes. It was Sigrun who led the charge against the Darkspawn when Vigil's Keep was attacked. Once again, she had an army behind her, and once again, they fought Darkspawn with no hope of survival. This time, Sigrun did not flee. Ogren continued to regale young Warden recruits with tales of his prowess in both battle and bed. His drinking games prompted at least one recruit to declare that she'd rather reattempt the joining than lift another mug. At the Warden Commander's urging, Ogren took a more active role in his child's life. He visited Felsi often, and wrote letters, which the Grey Warden Commander graciously proofread nearly every week. As for the savior of Ferelden, she did not remain as commander of the Grey for long. The Darkspawn were no longer a real concern. The blight, well and truly over. It was time for her to move on. Some claimed the commander reunited with the red-haired bard known as Liliana, and that adventure together still. The pair were spotted together in Denham a year after the Blight's end. No matter the truth, the commander never did return to Vigil's Keep. Oh gosh. This bug. This is not good. Okay. There we go. Alright. Hope you enjoyed the expansion. Now, there is going to be a little bit more. We still have 2 DLC to go through, but they are immensely shorter. They're more like the size of the Mass Effect DLC. So, you know, couple videos max per. So I think they're about like 1 to 2 hours long, somewhere in there. Anyway, tell me what you thought about the characters in the expansion here. Did you like any of them more than the cast from the original game? Now I'm sitting here thinking, did anyone actually like Milana or relate to her in any way? Because I still have yet to this day had someone tell me that she's one of their favorite characters. So I'm really curious to see if there's really anyone out there, or if she's just that badly designed of a character. I know she's kind of meant to be like that, but I don't think she came across in any way besides a player basically not liking her. But I should have the next ones up really quick. We're about completely done with this game, and then we can get to the next one, which I'm not going to say what it is just yet, but it will not be the next Dragon Age. I'm going to save Dragon Age 2 for a little bit later. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and, you know, listen to the music. See you next time.